Welcome to the Canadian virtual meeting for the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. I'm Cheryl Levy, and today we're going to look at some maps. And maps are a great way to help you in your research. And I'm just going to pull up, okay, share my screen. Okay, and I'm just pulling up the Institute webpage first, just to, if you're a new student, this is our website. And if you want to see your courses, you go under Genealogy Store, go to All Courses, go to the Canadian Record Certificate and just click there. And when you do, you're going to see the Canadian certificate package, and what you're seeing is mine. And so it will tell you what courses are required and then which ones you have completed. Now I've graduated, and so I've completed all of them, so they're all filled in. But for yours, it's going to show you which courses you've completed and which courses that you still need. And I've taken the DNA one as well, and so that's why it's showing that one. But that's a quick way to see what courses that you still need to do, and not everyone is aware of that tool. And so, but what's good about this is you could click on another one. Say you want to do, okay, so I'm working also on the professional development one. And so you can go in there and you can see I still need a few more courses to finish. But some of the courses overlap. And so like all your methodology courses are the same, whether whatever certificate you're working on. And so it'll show you. So this one shows you that I still have some courses to do. We have a new certificate, which is the personal historian one, and I'm just going to show you that one quickly. So if I wanted to do the personal historian one, I would come down here and it would show me how many courses I still need to do. So there's 25 in the package. I've completed 19. So if I wanted to do this course, I would only have to do 4 more, and then I would get another certificate. And so it's good to look and click on these and see how far you are away from getting another certificate. And which other one? So say I wanted to go to the English one. I don't have very many there at all. And so it would show me of the 40, I still need to take 27 because I've already done all the methodology. I've already got electives. And so it would just be the main courses that I would need to do 13 more courses, and then I would have another certificate. And so this is a good way just to check and see if you are interested in other certificates to add on to yours if you already have it, or you're planning to, some people use the courses from a second certificate as their electives, and then you get 2 certificates. And so that's just a quick way to check and see how close you are to those other certificates. The other thing is, if you're looking for your grades, you go to this little down arrow by your profile picture, and then it will show you, and then you go to grades here, and it will take you, and it will show you all the courses that you've taken, when you started them, when you finished them, and the mark that you got. And it will also show you courses that are still open. So right there. So I'm still planning to take the host history one. And so I've got it set for December. But if I say, oh, I can't do it in December because it's Christmas, I can easily change it to a different month or a different day. You can choose any day you want now, and you update it. And what's nice about this is it shows you when you're due to start and when it will finish if you start on that day. So you can really see this one below for the photography. I've got it slated for the 1st of January. It won't finish until March. So I can say, okay, am I going to be able to do it in that time frame? If you have an elective that's not assigned, which I don't to show you, but there's a place that you can assign that to a specific course and then it'll show up on your course list. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly show you that. And also a reminder for students who are in AS2 that the Latin course is coming. And let me see if I can find it on here, all courses, and search the courses. This is how you search. So we have a brand new Latin course. And it is live. You can sign up for it now and take it. And it is, did I pass it? There it is, Latin for genealogists. And so right now it is an elective, but as of the 1st of January, and it says here, as of the 1st of January, it's going to become compulsory for any of the certificate programs, and it will be a prerequisite to the paleography course. And so what I need to remind you is for AS2 students, if you finish your AS2 before the end of December, you will not be required to take this as compulsory. But anybody on the 1st of January, if you have not finished up at least to the AS2 level, if you're only in the AS3 level, we're not going to require it. But so if you want to finish your AS2 before the end of the year, then you won't have to take the Latin course as a compulsory. But you may want to take it anyway, because if you have any kind of records that are in Latin, this is really going to help you with those records. Okay, so I wanted to remind you of that. And also for the AS3 students, you need to have all of your courses for your certificates completed by the 31st of December for the graduation coming up in January. And so make sure that you get your consultations scheduled before those dates so that we have a chance to get your marks in so you can graduate, or that you can be exempt from the Latin course if that's what you want to do if you're in AS2. Okay, so those were my 2 reminders that I needed. So today I'm going to be doing, so this is the Canadian, and it will relate to maps, can be in the geography course. So I'm just going to go down. Oops, geography is a advanced course, I think. And there it is there, geography and maps. And so there is the course for geography and maps, which is an advanced course in the Canadian certificate. And in that course, which is 9 weeks, it's going to talk about different kinds of maps. It's going to talk about place names, how place names changed, and we're all aware of that. And place names change really is important, especially for census records and for death records. I had one where it said he died in a place, and I thought, why, how did he die there? He must have moved with a daughter. I looked for the children to see, if anybody died there. It was called Indian Point. And at that point, there were 2 Indian Points in that county. And then I found later that it had got changed. And then it was called East River instead of Indian Point. But on his death record, it says Indian Point because that's what it was at the time that he died. So knowing the changes of place names can be really important. And especially if your ancestors go back to the founding of a place, name places change, street places change. And so you want to check to see what it was at the time that the event is happening, and that can be on a map. So maps are very important. Also for borders, where the divisions were, where the counties were, as they divide it, because then that will affect where the records are that you're looking for. Maps are also good for migration routes, for military, and showing where different units were. I've used them for Revolutionary War to see where my soldiers were in different battles. County and settlement maps. If you're part of a settlement plan or founders and you drew lots, then you have maps of where all the lots were. And using gazetteers is another resource, and then the Historical Atlas of Canada, and then where to find maps. And so this course, Geography and Maps, is really good for taking what you have gathered for your ancestor or your research subject and then placing them on a map in the time that the event happened to see what is there, what is available, what is around them. Railroad maps are another good one to see when did the railroad come in, when were the roads created. I come from Nova Scotia where they're all on the coast, and so they went by boat. And so you think, why did they go, all the way over to this other place? But if you look on a map, it's not very far by boat. And if you went by land today, it's far because you have to go all along the coast. But with a boat, it's straight across the bay. And so that's why they went there to sell their vegetables or buy their supplies or even to attend church. And so looking on a map is really going to be helpful. And so today, I want to show you a special project that I've enjoyed using. And I'm just going to get the link up here. Okay, and this is called the Canadian County Atlas Digital Project. And I have the URL that I will put in the chat. Okay, and actually, it's on the handout. Okay, and so I'm just going to close that. Okay, so I'm going to enlarge this so we can actually see it. Okay, so this is the Canadian County Atlas Digital Project, and this was created by McGill University, but it's really cool. So first thing, when you come to a new website, what do? You always go in to find out what it's about. So you click on Project Overview, and it will say that it was professional genealogists recognize the importance of atlases. And so what they've done is taken these atlases that were created in like the 1880s, and they've put it together onto a map. And so this one under County Atlases is telling you when they were created, when they were published. They did it for the Maritimes, Ontario, and Quebec. And there are 32 atlases that were produced in Ontario, and it gives you who produced them. And there's another place where you can see what was used. And let me see if I can find the button for that. The button is right underneath my little box. Move it. If you go under primary sources, there it shows you. There's the source material that they've used to create this website and which of the directories, not directories, atlases, county atlases, they have used to make this resource. Okay, and so it tells you that a township, it gives the townships, and the townships in Ontario were usually rectangular unless it was bordering on a river or a lake. Then they were divided into concessions and into lots. And so it looks like a grid. And they were 200-acre lots. And so if you got the whole lot, you got 200 acres. If you got half of the lot, then you only got 100 acres, and then somebody else would have the bottom. So say you got the north half of lot 11 in concession, in the second concession, and the lots are always in numbers, and the concessions are always in Roman numerals when you see it on the map. And I'm going to show you some examples in a few minutes here. And so when you are saying where they lived, it's by lot and concession. And until I moved to Ontario, I didn't know anything about this. And when I moved here, they asked me what lot and concession I lived on. I had no idea what they're even talking about, but they used it for everything here. They used it for the fire, for where you're located. When somebody died on their death record, it's they died on lot whatever in concession, whatever. So it really places where they died, and even where they're buried, or where they're born. And so it's really useful. And if you got the top north, then it would be the north half of that lot and concession. Or if you divided it again into 50, it would be the northeast quarter of that lot and concession. And so it's really specific to how they describe the land, and that you can really find out on a map where they actually lived, where their land was. And so these are really cool. So when you come down here, and you go to search and you click search, it's going to bring up this page, and you can go directly to search for a person, or you can go and look at the maps. And so if I go to the maps first, it'll bring up a map with all of the townships, or sorry, the counties in Ontario in 1880. And you can click on the map, or you can click on one of these ones. And so Simcoe County, is that one that we should try? So if I go to Simcoe County, right here, it's number 21, so I can click there, or I can find 21 over on the map. Either one I can click. It's going to take me into the section and a little map for Simcoe County. And see how it's like grid all over the map? If you scroll down, then you're going to find here that you can click to generate a list of the names, all the names that are on that map. And they're all alphabetical, and their first name, the county. So since we're in the Simcoe County, it's going to just show all of the Simcoe names, which township they're in. If it's a town as well, then it's going to give you the name of the town. It's going to give their occupation. It's going to give their birthplace. And then you can go and see them on the map. Do you have a name, Kathy?
Atkinson.
Atkinson. This one here, Thomas. So if we go here, it says, no, Atkinson. No. So it's
Atkins, ATK.
ATK. Let's scroll down. Because notice at the top, there's 1,800 people in this map. So it's ATK. There's an Atkins. You want to try
It
him?
should be Atkinson.
Well, maybe it's
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
Okay, it might be a different spelling. So there is an Atkinson. I did see one here. Atchison could be.
Just
So this, well, let's try this guy. So this is Thomas. He is in the township of Medonte. He's a tenant farmer. That would be important to know. And he's from Scotland. So if I click the go, here is, and I could reach him if I put the name in the people search, it would bring this up as well. So this Thomas Atchison is on concession, Roman numerals, seventh concession, lot 15. And so I can click this button or I can, yeah, you click the button here and it's going to show you on the big township map where it's located. And here he is here. Looks like it's the church. The church is right there. That's cool. If you click these little buttons here, these little magnifiers, it's going to make it bigger and it's going to start to show you what is around them. And so if I click here, I can move it around. So he's here. He's pretty close to the Medento post office. Here's another, and it gives you, there's the store. So he's pretty close to the store. So that's cool. But I can go back and it can show, but I'm going to go back to the big map. And so here it is. So if I click on this, I can make it bigger. And see, I clicked just anywhere's on the map and it's going to show me that township. So let's see if we can get him. And if you hover over it, it will give you the different names of the townships. So if you're looking for something, there he is here. He was at this one. And then I can make that, I can make that one bigger too. But it's just a really, it's neat to see where they are. I'm going to go back and search one that I do know that I had looked up, and it's in Hastings County. No, let's do the people. Let's do the people search. So if instead of the map for the whole thing, I can do a people search, and I'm just going to put Hagerty in. I can select the county and then break it down to the township and the town, or by birthplace or by occupation. Maybe I want to find all the blacksmiths in a certain county. I could filter it down that way. One thing here, if you click search, it brings you out to that page that says people or maps. So you want to click this little button right here that says search. And it's going to tell me that there are three Haggertys, and they are in, two are in Prince Edward County, and one is in Wellington County. So if I click on this one in Prince Edward County, again, it's going to give me the information, and it's going to say 1NBR. So what is that? So if we look, we will see he's on the river. And so it's a broken, it's not a straight line. His his lot is along the river. So there he is there, H. Haggerty, and it says 100. So he got 100 acres. If I click the little magnifier, it's going to bring it up bigger. But it faded it out, didn't it? And you can click around to see who is around him. Okay. I have to get back to where he was. So there he is, Haggerty. Okay. I'm going to go back because that wasn't the one that I was looking for. Yes. And if you spell it a little bit differently, and you have to just try different variations. If I used an ERT instead of an ART, now I have 12 results. So try different spellings to see if you get different results if the person that you're looking for doesn't show up. And so the one I was looking for was M because his name was Marmaduke, which I love that name. It's my grandchildren's ancestor. And so here he is, and I'm going to locate him on the map. And here he is. And he had a large family. He was from Ireland, and he has 300 acres. So he's on this 200-acre lot, plus he has another 100 acres. And see this little symbol that all of that is his. He's got 300 acres. And see the one above it is from the Canada Company. And so this hasn't been designated yet from the Canada Company. Or maybe there was somebody there and they didn't fulfill their requirements and it got turned back to the Canada Company and then they will send it. Because when they got these lots, there would be requirements. They had to clear a certain amount of land, they had to build a house, and you can see there's where his little house was. The little square is where the house was on that lot. And if you didn't fulfill your requirements, it got turned back and you lost it. And that's where the land petitions come in. They're petitioning saying, I need more time. You know, the storm blew down my barn, or the cow died, or I've been sick, or, you know, those kind of things in the petition, in the land petitions for more time to fulfill the requirements for the land. Again, I can click the little magnifier and it will show me a bigger view of where he was. And so I can see that the Canada Company was there. There was a Cooney right above that. Below him, um, this person owned this lot and this lot. That's interesting. And this is where the river goes through. So if I want to do it on the big map, I have to actually go out and get the big map. But that's a quick way to get it. Let's go back out and go maps. And this time I'm going to do Hastings County. And he was in Huntington. And so here it is here. Now I can click and generate all the people who are in this township, or I can click here and get a bigger version of the map, and then I can make it bigger. And so now I can see, and he was up farther, and he was along the river. And here he is here, right here. So now I can see there's even more lots around him that are still owned by the Canada Company. But that's a clue. He got his property from the Canada Company. And so you can go in and see if you can find records for them and how they got the lots and when he got his. But you can see all of his neighbors, all of the people that lived around. So if you're working on a fan club, you can see who is around him, and you can see where the river was. You can see where roads were, and they were responsible for taking care of the road. This is 1880. You have to use the little side things. Here's the railroad, where the railroad was going through. And here's the town. Here's the town of Madoc, which is right on the edge there of Huntington. It says Madoc. And that's a little town. But here's the lake. So how far did he have to go to get to where he wanted to go? You can also look and see who were the people that his children married. Were they in the neighboring lots? Was, you know, the son married to the daughter of the lot next door. You know, so if you see familiar surnames here, you might be able to see how far they were away. Now, if you look up here, there's a J Haggerty. So then they're pretty close together. Did they come at the same time? Is that a brother? Is that a son? Is that a cousin? And so then you're going to start to find clues to whoops into who is are all around him. Sorry, I clicked and it went back. Okay, so you move it with these little on the side. That you can't click on it and move it around. So that is, and so now we know. Oh, I need to show you where the numbers are. Okay, just if I'm going to go way to the bottom, here's the numbers in the Roman numerals. So he is, go back up. He's in this column. So there it is that he is in 9. 1x is 9. Or is that, oh, it might be 11. Just let me see. Oops. Okay, other toolbars are getting in my way. Okay, that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's in concession 11. And if I go over this side of the map, because it's always on a grid, I go over to the other side, here are the numbers going up the side. And boy, they're really faint. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Those are the lot number in those concessions. And that's how you would use the grid to find them. Have you ever used this map? Did you know
Yes.
about this?
Yep.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and so by doing this, sometimes the census records too will coordinate to what lot and concession they were because they didn't have a street address. They were rural addresses. They were all, this is the farming. And there's another J. Haggerty up here. And so he had a large family. And so, and I'm recognizing different surnames. And so this is a good name, a good way. Here's an H.C. Hagerman, which is different than Haggerty. But it'll tell you how many acres they had in, some of these smaller lots. This one's an 85. So it's a smaller lot. This one's a 50, but see how it's not straight. It's on a broken front is what they're called. Okay, so that is the special project that I wanted to share with you today. Other places that you can look for maps. Look in your local public library. They will have local maps. They will have specialty maps. Look in archives. And for archives, look in your provincial archive. Look in your municipal archives. Because if you go, for instance, to the archives of Toronto, and maybe I will share just again. Okay, just hang on. I'm going to get that up. Okay. So for instance, allow. Okay, share. For instance, the Toronto Public Library, they have a digital archive. And if you scroll down, you will find Toronto maps. And so you can click on Toronto maps and it will bring you up all kinds of maps. Here's 1883, 1884, and different parts of the city as it's growing. and you can see what they have. You can also go to the Toronto archives, so a municipal archive for Toronto, and that's the city archive. If I go there to the municipal archives, so this is the City of Toronto archives, there's a button. And the button says search the archives, which if I went in there, and hopefully this is going to load, you can put in keywords, but if you scroll down, here are scanned maps. And so if I click scanned maps, and hopefully it's going to load for me okay. This has a lot of modern maps in here, but look, here's one for the plan of the City of Toronto from 1857. How cool is that? And then it tells you about the map, and this is a map that they have in their collection. And I'm not going to click on it because I tried that and it takes a long time to load. Okay, but you can also in the archives, and hopefully I don't get the spinning wheel. If I click on data and research maps, and this is part of the Archives of Toronto, and I scroll down, there's a section for maps. And I can click there, and then this whole section is on maps. And view Toronto maps. And hopefully this is going to load. Closing on some other windows. Hopefully it's not going to crash on me. And so this is in the Toronto archives. And up comes this nice little map where then you can go in and you can see different areas and you can zoom in and you can search it by ward, by boundaries. So if you have a census and you want to look and see, you know, where they were, which ward, all of those things. But if you go across the top, there's a historic maps here. And this was funny, but this is Toronto and it's historic maps and nothing shows up. So I put in Niagara. And when I did that, take a minute to load in. Then this became usable. And what you can do then is you can click on and use these filters. And so here's 1924, and I can zoom in. And I think this is picking up a street rather than a. It's really slow. Okay, but these are using the fire insurance maps. And so by using these filters, you can go and you can see how the place that you're researching has changed. And as you click the different dates, you're going to get another layer using the fire insurance maps. Zoom. There we go. Because the fire insurance maps show you the buildings and they show you even what the buildings were made out of. And they take a while to load, which is what I was afraid of. There they go. And so if you know that they were, see, here's Niagara Street. Okay. And you know which number, if you go in even a little bit farther, whoops, I'm going to zoom in. You can even see the street numbers. And so you can see what was around them. What was there a factory nearby that they went to? Okay, and I see that I'm freezing, so I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay, so but you can click on these different years and it will put a layer on of what it looked like in those years. And so you can see how the neighborhood changed. You can see where the buildings were. Here's a school. So if he lived on Niagara Street, here's a school in 1903. But if I went to 1880, was that school there or was it somewhere else? And so these are really cool to go in and just see how something developed. So you want to look at municipal archives, you want to look at libraries, you want to look at government websites. And so I'm going to go out of these. And so I'm going to, for government ones, I'm going to use a Nova Scotia example. And this is by the government of Nova Scotia. And this is a crown land map. And so this is, they've made it into a grid that you can click on. So if you know where your ancestor lived, you can click on it and go there. And so I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to just click on it and it's going to open to a map. And this is Lunenburg and Queens County. And I can increase it. Whoops. I can increase it. And I think I just have to use the view zoom in. And I can keep zooming in. And it's going to show me, and again, I have to use the little side ones here. And it's going to show me the islands and it's going to show me names. Okay, zoom in again. Wow, I have to zoom in a lot. And you can save these to your computer. You just right click and save them. But these are not lots and concessions. They're all different sizes. But as you can see, as you keep zooming in, you're going to start to see names. This is Casper Hickman owned this lot. And this is Philip Triforin. William Nesbitt owns this one. That's a large one that he owns there. And so it shows you where the rivers are. It shows you where the roads are, and where the shore is. And there's La Have there. My husband has ancestors from La Have and Bush Island. That's where my husband's ancestor is from. And so you can click in and see all of these little places. So if you know approximately where in Nova Scotia they were, then you just click on the number that looks close. I think this is probably around Truro. And then it will show you. I don't see an increase. I think you just have to keep zooming in. But it's going to show you names. And if you have names, then you can see who is next door. And you can match them up and say, yep, they were on the census and now here they are on the map. And so there's David Archibald. He owned a lot of land. And so it's another way to add to your family history and by using maps. I'm going to stop. And so there's all different kinds of maps. And so see what you can find. I'm from Halifax and the Halifax explosion has a map. of the part of the city that was affected by the explosion, and where the tidal wave was, and where all the destruction was. There's maps um, for all kinds of things. So just go looking. But the fire insurance maps are cool because you can see what the buildings were made of. They'll say if they're brick or wood. And you can see where the school was, you can see where the factory was. So if he worked at on the census, if he worked at a certain factory, you can see how far did he have to go to work and see what was in the area. And just lots of things you can find on maps. And so I encourage you to look for maps in the area that you're in. Another place is academic libraries. So for universities, look and see what's in their collections, because their students are doing projects and they will bring the resources in for their students, and then it's in their collection. So you may find something at Queen's University for BC or something in the States because they brought it in for that project that they were working on, and it's in their collection. So check the catalogs for libraries, museums, archives, um, Library and Archives Canada. Look and see what you can. And something that I do sometimes is go to Google. Google it and just put in a township map for whatever township you're looking for. And then on the images as they come up, click on the image, see what the website is that that image came from, and then explore that website and find out about that map that's there. You can also use David Rumsey maps. They have a lot of old maps. They're more general. They're not narrowing down to specific areas, but it gives you a good overview. And so my challenge for you today is look for maps that are going to help you in your family history. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you that the next Canadian virtual meeting in December already, is the 9th of December. And remember, you can go on the student calendar and go back and click on the Canadian virtual meetings that are in the calendar for the old dates, and it goes back, and the recordings are there. And I checked last night, and I think all but one of the Canadian recordings are there right back. And so click on those links and go in and watch the ones that you haven't watched, and see, you might pick up some tips for your research. Okay, so thank you for joining me. This was the Canadian Records virtual meeting for the International Institute of Genealogical Studies, and I hope that I've given you some good resources today and some inspiration to go look for maps. Okay, see you next time.